Sai Ram. Living in the present or the power of now is so important because the present is the only space where we have any control, right? Now, when the body is unable to time travel to the past or the future, what is the use of the mind traveling there? And this is what we call as being aware. Living in the present means to be aware. And every time when Swami spoke about awareness, he would always qualify it as constant integrated awareness. So, awareness means that awareness which is constant and integrated. But that is like saying fire is the fire which has light and heat. Well, if you have experienced fire, there is no need to speak of it that way. In the same way, till we have experienced what this awareness is, it is necessary to remind ourselves that it has to be constant and integrated. But what does it mean when we say that awareness should be constant and integrated? I would like to share 3 experiences which are apparently disconnected and highly bizarre, but they give us this answer. One of the stories that Swami would often narrate was that of Lord Krishna and Arjuna going out for a walk. During the walk, Krishna looks up at the sky and says, "Hey Arjuna, look, there's an eagle." Arjuna doesn't even look up at the skies. He just turns to the Lord and says, "Yes, that is indeed an eagle." And then Krishna looks up once again and says, "No Arjuna, I think that's a crow." Arjuna once again nods. He says, "Yes, it is a crow." The bird now comes lower, and then Krishna looks up and says, "No Arjuna, that's a dove." And Arjuna says, "Yes, my lord, it's a dove." Now Krishna says, "Arjuna, you're not even looking up. Are you a fool? You're simply blindly nodding to whatever I say." And Arjuna responds, "Lord, I trust your word more than my own eyes. Whatever you say is the truth." And Swami would emphasize on the faith of Arjuna, saying, see how aware Arjuna is that Krishna is divine, he never lets his guard down. Now, whenever I heard this story from Swami, I used to wonder what was so special about Arjuna. Swami, if you also tell me something, if you say, "Look, Arvind, there is a peacock flying in the sky," I will nod, Swami. I am also aware that you are divine. What is so special about Arjuna? Give me a chance, I will also show that I am Arjuna. Let us now fast forward to a Trai session that was happening in Bhagwan's own residence at Brindavan Whitefield in the city of Bangalore. During this intimate Trai session where all the students were seated around Swami, who was sitting on the jhula, Swami was discoursing. And once again in his discourse, he began to narrate this classic Krishna-Arjuna story. I was making notes in my book. I stopped because I know the story, right? I thought, let me look at Swami and focus on him. Narrating the story, Swami said, Krishna told Arjuna, "Look Arjuna, there's a lion that is in the skies." And Arjuna said, "Yes, O Lord." After that, Krishna looked up and said, "No Arjuna, I don't think that it's a lion. I think it's a horse." And Arjuna says, "Yes, Lord, it's indeed a horse that is flying." At this point in time, I was really stunned and shocked. I knew that Swami would often spice up the story or bring variety in the story by changing the birds. Once it will be a dove, once it will be a pigeon, once it will be a parrot, once it will be a peacock. That's okay. But Swami, now you're making a lion and a horse fly. How? Swami, please, please don't do this. And then Swami says that Krishna told Arjuna, "No Arjuna, I think it's a dove." I was relieved. Swami has come back to the story. And the story was complete, after which Swami completed his discourse. It was very good. Many weeks later, it hit me that I actually had my Arjuna moment here. But I failed miserably because I was so conditioned. My awareness that Swami is God was not constant. I was ready to accept him as the Lord as long as he sticks to the birds. The moment he shifted it to a lion or a horse, I did not believe. So therefore, awareness that Swami is God is one thing, but it needs to be constant. And that was the day I decided that Swami, next time when you tell the story, even if you say that Krishna looked up at the skies and said, "Look Arjuna, there's a dragon that is flying in the skies," I will accept it with a calm heart, because I shall show to you that I am Arjuna. Now let us fast forward to 2009, when Swami had taken a few of us along with him to Hadshi to inaugurate the Panduranga Kshetra there. It was a very memorable trip, which became more memorable for me because of this experience. One morning, as Swami came out of his room in Hadshi, we decided to surprise him with a session of viewing photographs. There was a giant television that was present there, and I had connected my laptop to the TV and had kept a photo slideshow ready for him to see. As we were going through the different photographs, Swami showed a lot of interest in one particular photograph. This was a photo of the Hadshi residence silhouetted against the rising sun, the morning skies. As we were viewing this photo, Swami said, "Wow, the moon is so beautiful." I said, "No Swami, that is not the moon, that is the sun." Swami then said, "Look, it's all dark everywhere. It is definitely the moon because it is a night." Now I did not know what I should tell Swami, how to tell him that I had exposed in the camera for the skies, and therefore whatever was not as bright as the sky came dark. It is not the night. So I just left all that and I said, "See Swami, it is orange. How the moon can be orange? It is the sun." And then Swami looked at me and said, "Okay, if you say so, then it is the sunrise." I smiled and we went ahead with the photo session. We sing the bhajan. Chand aur suraj tumne banaye. Oh Lord, you made the moon and the sun. I sing it in my bhajan, and yet when I sat in front of him, I told him, "Swami, you don't know, you might, you made the moon, but you don't know the moon. This is actually the sun." Once again, I failed to be Arjuna, because, Arjuna told Krishna that, "Lord, if you say so, it is a dove, it is an eagle, it is a crow." But here, I made the Lord tell me that, "Okay, if you say so, it is the sun." So you see, awareness needs to be constant. It also needs to be integrated. I was ready for a dragon flying in the sky, but I was not ready for a moon in the sky. So coming back to the point with which we started, if we need to live in the present, we need to be aware, and this awareness needs to be constant and integrated. But we need to be aware of what? We need to be aware that divinity resides within each and every one of us. Swami is in all. Swami is in everything that I see, hear, touch, taste or smell. And that awareness needs to be constant and integrated. But how to develop this constant integrated awareness? In a series of discourses that Swami delivered in the first and second week of April in 1993 at Kodaikanal, Swami spoke extensively on constant integrated awareness. During one such discourse, I think on the 12th of April, Swami said that in order to develop this constant integrated awareness, one needs to develop detachment. We may wonder, how does detachment lead to constant integrated awareness? I would prefer to be like a patient who accepts the medicine given by the doctor without trying to analyze the chemistry and biochemistry that goes in the medicinal action. Let's just take the pill, the illness will be gone. In the same way, let us develop detachment, and with that, automatically we will get constant integrated awareness. But what is detachment? That is the next question. I think for starters, this video on the difference between love and infatuation and attachment would be very, very helpful. This video here. Have a look at it. Hope you enjoy it. Hope we all grow in our love for Swami and detachment towards the world. Then we will be able to constantly live in the present, be happy, peaceful, and filled with joy. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.